let me just say that I've read two pieces today from two people that I greatly respect. And I'm not going to say I lost respect for them, Paul Krugman and Ta-Nehisi Coates. I'm just going to say that I no longer care to bite my tongue against people that I admire. And I'm just going to say what I have to say about them. Ta-Nehisi Coates picks up on this argument from Paul Krugman. He starts off his article in The Atlantic talking about why is Bernie Sanders against reparations, right? So flag on the play already. You know, it is one of the preeminent thinkers of the modern Black intellectual intelligentsia, right? It's Ta-Nehisi Coates. Everybody listens to him. He's the man, right? He's like the he's like the young Cornel West, but with more publications in the newspaper, in the media, right? Not academic, but this is Ta-Nehisi Coates. So everybody's going to listen to him. Everyone Black is going to listen to him. So what do you mean Bernie Sanders isn't supporting reparations? How dare he? Bernie Sanders doesn't want the Black vote. And so Ta-Nehisi Coates picks up right after after Paul Krugman, saying that Paul Krugman lays out the case of how difficult healthcare, single-payer system, Medicare for all, how difficult that will be. But yet Bernie Sanders is bold enough to try. Here, Bernie Sanders. You're bold enough to try, even though Krugman said it's going to be impossible. It's going to be damn near political suicide. But Bernie Sanders doesn't care. He's going to do it. But Bernie Sanders says about reparations, it's going to be too politically divisive, pretty much impossible. Bernie Sanders essentially said the same thing about reparations that Paul Krugman has said about Medicare for all. So instantly, I'm like, damn, this is a hell of an argument because I can't disagree with this. Matter of fact, my first instinct was, damn, Bernie Sanders, I actually started picking up on this. I'm like, if you can be bold enough to go for this, why can't you be bold enough to go for that? Brilliant, right? Everybody start tweeting me. All of these Hillary supporters start tweeting me. See, Ben, this is why you should support Bernie Sanders. This is why. And then all of a sudden it clicked. It took about 30 seconds to click, right? But there's like a lot of stuff that goes on in my brain in 30 seconds. And it clicked so quickly and made me really upset because I am sick and tired of people making Bernie. No. Clarify, not people. I am sick and tired of the Black community making Bernie Sanders jump through Black hoops that they are not making Hillary Clinton jump through. Period. Because in this article, and I scrolled through it twice, somebody said that there was a link where he referenced the fact that Hillary Clinton doesn't support it. I was reading it on the subway. It probably got past me, but still, it was so focused on Bernie Sanders not being willing to go after reparations that it did not dive into the reality that there is not a single presidential candidate today or in the past 56, name me a presidential candidate in the history of America that supported reparations after it was initially proposed. So to me, it became automatically disingenuous and became a hit piece. It became a powder puff piece to support Hillary Clinton because you're trying to make Bernie Sanders go through hoops that you would not dare ask Hillary Clinton about. Who has asked Hillary Clinton about reparations and wrote an intellectual thought piece behind the pen of someone with such political influence in the Black community? Nobody. Likewise, nobody has challenged Hillary Clinton with Black Lives Matter to the extent that they challenged Bernie Sanders. And I'll tell you what pisses me off about it in 1 second. But let's just be clear. Bernie Sanders, Netroots Nation, Seattle, everywhere you turn, Bernie Sanders is being asked questions about Black Lives Matter. He has to answer about it every time. Now he has taken it he's internalized it. He has turned it into a platform, and now he's talking about it. He's talking about, say her name. He's calling out Sandra Bland, and he's not only calling out using the names as props, but he is also, not using the name as props, but you know what I mean. He's using their names, but he's also bringing policies And out of DeRay McKesson's 10-point plan for campaign 0, he scores the highest marks. Where is Hillary Clinton in the pushback from Black Lives Matter? Who's asking Hillary Clinton about reparations? Who's writing all of these great thought pieces? Who's saying Hillary? Why is everyone looking at this old white man? Because you can, anyway, and saying Bernie Sanders, who is the only candidate with the economic platform that is going to do anything about the disparate poverty, the state of the economic condition of poor people in America. He's the only one with the economic plan to even address it or to even start the conversation about it. Yet Bernie Sanders is somehow magically the white supremacist progressive. Get the hell out of here with that, man. That's complete, utter BS, completely, from top to bottom. I don't care how you cut it, because if you cannot call yourself, you can call yourself whatever the hell you want to call yourself, but to me, you're not worth your weight if you are not challenging Hillary Clinton the same, and Martin O'Malley the same way. Forget about Republicans. Let's look internally to people who think that there are allies. If you are making Bernie Sanders jump through these white supremacist destroying hoops and not requiring the same exact standard of Hillary Clinton, then you are both disingenuous and intellectually dishonest. Because that piece from Ta-Nehisi Coates, as much as his argument was apt, it was a good argument. You can't argue with this argument. It's sound. If Bernie Sanders is going to be bold on Medicare for all, then why is he so quick to dismiss reparations? It's sound. But it's disingenuous when you don't apply that to everyone else. And when you say stuff like, I wish I had it in front of me, when he said, why should black people, this is from his article, why should black people support any candidate who doesn't understand this? But he doesn't say, why should black people support Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton or Martin O'Malley when none of them understand this? He leaves it an open-ended question applied only to Bernie Sanders. So it's a beautiful piece of rhetorical jujitsu to villainize the position of Bernie Sanders while completely absolving Hillary Clinton of any responsibility for the same exact position that she holds as Bernie Sanders. It's too politically impossible to get done. So it's been a bad afternoon for me. 2 for 2. Paul Krugman and Ta-Nehisi Coates came out with these vapid, ridiculously weak arguments. One, and then the other was just intellectually dishonest in the sense that he leaves the focal point on the one person who's going to actually enact policies to reverse some of the economic paradigm that could have been fixed by reparations, but will not be fixed by reparations because there's not a single president who supports reparations. But because Bernie Sanders doesn't support reparations, let's forget about his entire economic revolution, notwithstanding the fact that that economic revolution will undo some of the burden and some of the damage that could have been fixed by reparations. It's been that kind of Tuesday. It's been that kind of Tuesday. That shit pissed me off. It pisses me off because I hate to see how I hate to see exactly what I saw at, I believe it was at Clark in Atlanta, where Black Lives Matter, a small contingency of Black Lives Matter came to protest Hillary Clinton. And then all of a sudden you had all of these black political elite just boom, boom, block it, boom, get out the way, boom, sit down. John Lewis came down and tried to pat them on the back and sit them down. Kasim Reed from Atlanta tried to come down. The mayor of Atlanta tried to come down and make them sit down. And everyone was protecting Hillary Clinton from the valid criticisms, such that if you have any critique of Bernie Sanders, it is that much more magnified on Hillary Clinton. Let's talk about economic policies that are detrimental to the Black community. If you have a critique of Bernie Sanders and you think that it is detrimental economically to the Black community, then how the bloody hell could you ever support Hillary Clinton, whose policies are worse for the Black community? But all of a sudden, you have the Black political class, who I call the Black Democratic establishment, all of them jumping in, guarding, and defending Hillary Clinton against criticism, writing all of these pieces about Bernie Sanders' race problem and his white supremacist problem, as though Hillary Clinton was born a poor Black man in the South in the 60s. Oh, woe is me, master. If Bernie Sanders benefits from white privilege, how much more does Hillary Clinton's ass in New York with all the money making $250,000, $600,000 for a speech? Get the hell out of here with that foolishness, man. I'm sorry. If nothing else, to thine own self be true. Be true to your own arguments. I would have challenged Bernie Sanders myself if I ever had the opportunity, right? Just a show with like 70 people watching right now. I would have challenged Bernie Sanders myself to answer the question that Ta-Nehisi Coates presented. Why are you so bold on Medicare for all, but completely refuse to even entertain the question on reparations? That would have been a great question to ask him. However, I refuse to put Bernie Sanders through one more Negro hoop. Please, my white listeners, please don't repeat that. Black folks, feel free to run with it. My white listeners, don't say Negro hoops. I refuse to put Bernie Sanders through one more Negro hoop that Hillary Clinton is not being put through herself. So as far as I'm concerned, Bernie Sanders, you good with the Black community and me. You good. You've answered Black Lives Matter. You've answered Seattle. You answered the question of Sandra Bland. You had the strongest answer on the other night. Anytime a police killing is involved, the Department of Justice should automatically trigger an investigation. Bernie Sanders, you don't owe not one damn more explanation to the Black community if Hillary Clinton has not answered everything else that you've already answered. Period. End of discussion, conversation over. And all of you so-called activists, all of you so-called thinkers, come see me and debate with me about it, because not one of you have presented an argument that makes me change my mind and realize or think anything other than you are. This would have been a great closing, but I'm not going to say it. You know who you are. Caller.